Sweat Equity Podcast and streaming show, the number one comedy business comedy podcast in the world.
It's both.
It's both. That's how we roll. We got Kirk, Zipfel, comedian, real estate mogul,
Actor.
commercial actor too.
Yeah.
Pitching house plays. We're just trying to we're trying to right his ship on this podcast. We're 2020's best small, medium enterprise advisory podcast in the United States. We're also 2021's best, I'm trying to do this off memory.
Dude.
Best studio and entertainment podcast in the Eastern United States. Think the Corporate Vision magazine.
Yeah.
Pretty good. This podcast,
I guess. I don't know.
episode is brought to you by Grasshopper. Try grasshopper.com.
Media innovator in there somewhere. I don't remember.
Corporate Vision Magazine Media Innovator Awards 2021. We already won that shit. It's not even Q4, baby, and we won it.
I know.
What we're doing?
The ads for the podcast show.
This podcast show is sponsored by Grasshopper. Try grasshopper.com/sweat. Gets you 75 bones off an annual plan. What's Grasshopper, you say? It's a business phone line. It's the entrepreneur's app for their business line. Get a second line. Don't have two cell phones. Don't try to add a Google Voice number that you can't use later for business purposes. Did you know that shit? You didn't know that shit. Try Grasshopper.
I've heard the ad before.
Try grasshopper.com/sweat like Keith Sweat. Gets you 75 bones off an annual plan. That's trygrasshopper.com/sweat like Keith Sweat. $75 off an annual plan. Let's get this party started. Howdy,
About my sweat equity. Sweat equity. Sweat equity. My sweat equity. My sweat equity.
Sweat equity.
What about my sweat equity?
There we go.
What up?
Hammer toe.
Hi, fellas. How are you?
We're good.
We
We're going.
are good.
That's fantastic. I'm going to change my name from my email that I created for junk like 20 years ago
Oh,
to a normal name.
We'll cut that out. It popped up at the beginning.
I like hammer toe.
Yeah, I mean, it's not a fun condition to have, but it's a fun name.
Is it a real thing? Is it bad? Like turf toe?
I don't think it's bad.
It is.
Wait,
it is
we got to keep all this in now. I'm pressing start.
It's a condition. I actually don't have it. I just like the word. But it's apparently when your toes like curl down like this, and they kind of just form like a claw. Although there is something called claw foot or claw toe, but hammer toe is when your toes like kind of curl in like that.
And Kirk is a board certified podiatrist. For everybody wondering, it's all true.
Stand-up comedian.
All of that.
In his off time. For the audio listeners, just curl up your knuckle at the top knuckle, and then put them together like your toes would face each other for some reason, as if they were getting in a fight.
And then what?
And then that's what he's doing.
Okay.
I'm using my words.
What's up, Law? I haven't seen you in like 10 years.
I know, man.
Oh, really?
Your hair looks immaculate. Looks about the exact same. And I'm kind of jealous.
I'm jealous too.
I'm on that Keeps.
Oh, did you get on it?
Oh, I've been on it. Yeah, I told you I've been on the Keeps. You know, with the Keeps stuff, it says you can't have more than 2 alcoholic beverages while on that, or you're going to have real bad liver issues.
Which one are you doing?
Keeps,
But
baby.
I know, but which one though?
All of it, baby.
You don't know what you're talking about. Jeez.
Wow, professional
Isn't that
show.
one of life's little ironies? They're like, you can either have hair or you can drink. But if you get hair, you can't drink. I'm sorry, you just can't have both.
We really need to look into this because we're both on Keeps, and they're not
we're
a,
drinking.
and not a sponsor of ours. Well, you went a month without drinking.
Yeah.
That's pretty.
Yeah, for me that was a big deal.
Kirk, what's
Eric, that's impressive. I
Thank
haven't had a drink in a month. In about 3.5 weeks.
I like how you.
I thought I was going to be taken seriously for saying
coming
that.
up on 1 year.
I'm proud of myself.
In like 11 months or so, it'll be 1 year since I stopped drinking.
Oh wait, you stopped a year ago?
No,
wow,
no.
because you said a month.
No,
I'm coming up on a year in 11 months.
That's incredible. Oh, in 11,
Yeah.
11 months.
Yeah,
I'm just
do some roundup
stretching your
math.
joke out,
Yeah.
making it my own.
I mean, it's amazing when you tell people that you stop drinking for any amount of time. I mean, it could be 48 hours. And you're like, yeah, no, I'm not drinking now. They're like, hey, man.
Oh, what's going on?
People just like automatically get like, they're like, bro, I'm proud of you, man.
Yeah.
That shit is hard, man. I can't, like I want to so bad, and I'm gonna. I swear, you just like open this Pandora's box. You're like, oh, God,
Yeah, I've been waiting for a sign, and this is it. I knew this is when I should stop drinking.
Dude, in LA, that's every fifth conversation. Someone's
I gotta change.
bringing something to the table. Is that how it was for you? Like, I felt like, especially stand up, like maybe our era missed the party era of sorts, because every third comic definitely was like recovering from something.
I don't disagree. I think comedy is filled with just broken toys left and right, littered coast to coast, and people who are, fucked up in one way or another. There's no doubt about it. Did we miss like the heyday of just drugs and partying? Yes. We sure did. It's not the 80s, not even the 90s. Like, there are no more. Shit, no, I can't remember his name. Who's the dude?
Sam Kinison.
Yeah. He was like the granddaddy, or Richard Pryor maybe, but who died like in 2003?
Mitch Hedberg.
Funny, yeah, Hedberg.
He died in 2005 because I saw him 2 weeks before he died. Yeah,
Whoa.
yeah, he performed at Auburn.
Where were you when he died?
I was on spring break and I heard the word.
Whereabouts unknown.
Well, no, him and Jim Brewer co-headlined at Auburn University. And I was so psyched. Like, me and my buddies were psyched to see Hedberg. Brewer went up first, annihilated. Like, I don't know if I've ever seen anybody annihilate that hard. And I always loved Brewer. Like, Brewer's great, but we were there for Hedberg. And man, it was sad. It was like he was facing the curtain most of the time. He was literally asking the stagehands off stage, "Do you have anything? Like, you have any?" I guess opiates. I forget what he was saying, but he was asking for a hookup, and it was like
to get his drugs lined up. After the set.
I was like, dude, the people you're talking to who set up the school production stuff, that ain't the crowd you're looking for. You needed us in 200 section that were loving it.
Yeah.
I mean, I think people in stand-up comedy in general are pretty, inclined to that kind of behavior. Certainly, if it's going to be a little bit of drugs, it's going to be a lot of drugs, and if it's going to be a little bit of booze, it's going to be a ton of booze. I had to ask myself a few different times along the way when we were hanging out, like in doing O'Brien's, like this shitty Irish bar in Santa Monica.
By the
on
way,
Sunday nights,
O'Brien's,
like just a practice room.
To get in O'Brien's, so you're a level ahead of me. So to get in O'Brien's for me was a big deal. So you look at it like shitty. I was like, oh shit, yeah, this is awesome. Kanane's doing sets in here. I think Joel McHale at some point was doing a bunch of sets in there. Because
we could get good comics to come back and do sets like in the room next to the toilet that was always broken, that stunk up the entire room. Like, there were people walking back and forth because there was like the exit over here and a curtain back there. People would just wander in and be like, what the hell's going on in here? It smells like shit.
Right on the border of Santa Monica and Venice, where those two kind of cities meet, technically, I think. Yep. And then if there's a Lakers game, you're fucked. Like, everybody turns into a Lakers fan somehow. I don't get it.
Right. The TV would be on, blaring. You could barely hear anything in the back room. We spent a lot of time back there. But I had to ask myself at one point, I'm like, am I going out to work on stand-up, like, seriously, or am I just going to drink with my unsuccessful comedian friends? And I honestly could not answer that question.
Well, you seem like you had I think we gravitated towards each other because you had, I wanted to say you had a normal childhood, but I don't know anything about your upbringing.
Yes, it was quite normal.
Was it?
Yeah, it was.
Did you feel guilty about it like I did? Because I was always like, man, my parents are still together. Like, I didn't get diddled. I didn't have any trauma. And there's a quote I heard that was like, well, if you're a comic that didn't have it growing up, you're going to create it later, which I definitely did.
I was going to say,
these last couple of years I've made up for it. Yeah, but what say you?
I never felt that guilty about it. Like, I came to it from an acting perspective. I was never like driven to comedy. I feel like by some of the demons that drive a lot of people to stand-up comedy. I was like, I just want to work more. I want to get more jobs. And I know that everybody that I see who's on TV like started in stand-up or did stand-up. And so I'm going to go do that. And then I started liking it. But I will say that it had almost literally no measurable effect on my career as an actor at all. I did stand-up for like 10, 15 years. And they were like, uh-huh.
So you're not doing it anymore. What's going on?
I'm not. I actually stopped. I stopped doing stand-up a while ago. Because it just, well, I mean, you know,
But you're good.
you've been going a long time.
I know, but I mean, you're good at.
You've been going a long time, man.
Well, it's weird. You become fast friends with a lot of people, but you get to know people through their act a lot. After watching a lot of people, but it's like, I was showing Eric before you got on. I was like, oh, this is the room we used to do it in, that room 5. I found an old video of you from 2013. I was like, this is kind of where I cut my teeth. This is where, and I was, I don't know, you get to understand a lot of people really quickly, but
I had to be like, oh, that's nice.
I
A
used to-
red curtain.
well, I used to be like, I don't want to go after Kirk, man. He's going to crush. I don't want to go after that.
He did say that.
Yeah.
He mentioned you might have done a guitar comedy back in the day too.
I did. I was that guy.
No,
I mean,
you Nick Thune.
Most people call it musical comedy.
You
They
and
go
Nick Thune,
guitar
I
comedy.
put y'all aside. You and Nick Thune were good. You could do it without the guitar. That's how you could tell.
I'm not
If
knocking it.
anybody, yeah. If there's any, I enjoy good. I mean, I cringe at any time a comedian busts out a guitar. I'm like, this is going to be awful, because most comedians, and this is just me as a snobby musician, but most comedians are terrible musicians.
Sure.
And so for me, that had to be the first, that had to be the benchmark. Like if you're good, then I'll listen. But if you can't play that thing and you expect me to forgive you like everything because you're going to write a funny strum song, then I don't give a shit, because I want you to be good first and foremost. But like I said, total comedy snob who's like, yeah, right. Because I thought I was like Jack Black or something. I wanted to be like this amazing stand-up comic. But what I did realize about musical comedy is I really believe that it is essential to have a partner. It's essential to have someone else to work off of and to play with and to harmonize with, like Tenacious D, like Garfunkel and Oates, like there's a lot of musical comedy duos, but you get a lot more. You get a lot more ROI when you got a two-man comedy music act. Except
for the part where you have to show up together. Except when you're a lone wolf doing stand-up. That's the beauty of doing stand-up, is like, I'll tell Eric, I'll be like, hey, come up to this this show doing. If you don't go, there's no big deal. Like it's one of those
to it.
But it's one of those things.
Hard.
It's like, you get used to that lifestyle. Just like, well, no one's really going to give a fuck about it except for you anyway. The only camaraderie I felt was like, seeing you or any number of people. You're like, I got to step up my game. That was the only kind of like, in a weird informal teamwork kind of way. But stand-ups, it feels. I logistically, it makes me nervous trying to think about how to get another person somewhere where you need to be with the same, like, hey, this is going to suck for years kind of attitude. Yep.
Yeah, it's true. I mean, you are very much a lone wolf. You are, even though you're doing it with other people, it's like golf. I mean, it's up to you to hit the balls. It's up to you to get out there and play. It's up to you to no one's going to make you better at stand-up. Usually you get like, it's like kind of falls like typical pattern where you start, you have like, if you have some friends, or like if you're like a normal person who's sort of funny and has friends, your friends buoy you along for the first, little while. Like they'll show up to shows, they'll pack the place in some cases, and they're like, you get this false sense of like momentum. Like you get like a little bit of a like tailwind right out of the gate. But then eventually your friends drop away because they're not going to come see you do the same shit anymore. And you have to start working on your material.
Yeah.
And it takes a really long time to just get out there and kind of bomb. You get the bomb, and you have to have stuff that doesn't work. And
there's
you have
the bombing.
And bombing.
Yeah. And you have to do it. I mean, I only did it
Eating
here in LA,
shit.
and I will say that I think that stand up in LA is like probably the worst city in America to do stand up.
I can imagine.
I was so
Everything-
green going out there. I didn't know it wasn't a great place to start. I was just like, I was 21 when I came out there. So I was like, but I don't know any different, you know?
We were all green, and we all didn't know any different. You're like, I think LA be a good town to move to.
Well,
And people are
I
like,
just go, I couldn't handle
"No,
New
it
York
isn't."
weather-wise. I was just like,
Yeah.
I'm Florida boy. So it's just one of those things where I was
Yeah.
like, LA seems similar to Florida in a lot of ways. And it's like, it's crazy and it's hot and there's enough stages to get up. And I know more people. Back in the day, I knew more people in LA than I did in New York, which is weird because most people
Mr. Cool Guy.
go back and forth between New York and Tampa a lot.
Okay.
Yeah, super cool. Yeah, look where it got me.
I've got more LA friends than New York friends.
I did. I had 5.
0 Tampa friends.
And I had 1. No, but why are you still in LA? That's how this email started. And then I was like, why don't you just come on the show and let's just talk about it?
Let's talk about it.
I wanted to do 2 things. We want to prop you up because what you showed us for your House Place show is brilliant.
Loved it.
And should be on Adult Swim.
Thanks. Thank you.
And but it really started with your LA elitism, trash in Florida. And you know what? When the United States needed us the most to be the petri dish for COVID, guess who
The
fucking
canary
stepped
in
up?
the coal mine.
Yeah, guess who fucking stepped up?
Yep.
So-
We really did. And let me say, somebody from the most important state in the union, that we really appreciate you guys, stepping forward, taking off the masks, refusing everything, just hitting the beach and the bars and restaurants, just
By the way,
like
I'm
the
going to
beach-
design a
Making it
flag
rain.
for us.
Hold on.
keeping it raining.
Easy, Gavin Newsom. The beach. The beach is funny. They take a picture of the beach at an angle where it looks like everybody's. You ever been to the beach? No one's
Yeah,
packed.
I've been to the beach.
Have you ever been packed at the beach ever?
Have you ever been to the beach? I don't think so.
Have you ever?
We've been to the beach.
We've been to the beach, bro.
Okay.
What
then,
are you saying?
Then there's a picture when March 2020 where they're like, Florida's out of fucking hand. It was fucking crazy. If you take a picture at an angle, it can look like everybody's sitting next to each other like sardines. But if you really look at it from a bird's eye view, everybody's about 10 feet apart, which is at least in a packed beach. Pretty much how
the
you
beach
do
is
it.
probably the safest.
The beach is the
place.
safest fucking place to be. And it was open air.
Yeah, but the
And
beach is
vitamin
a
D. What are we
safe
doing?
place to be when you're 12 deep, like in Daytona, and there's like some girl like crunking on the sand.
That
and
wasn't
it's like,
happening. That wasn't happening. That
I
picture.
saw it, bro. It
Oh,
was
oh,
happening.
that picture that
I
was
saw it too
circulating
because
around?
I was at the beach.
If you put that in Google Image where you can reverse search images, that was a photo from like 7 years before. That wasn't even that time.
Are you calling this fake news, bro?
Yeah, bro. Big Daddy Donnie T's coming back.
Wow.
20,
Listen, I don't.
2024. Yeah.
I wish I had
Now
more.
Kirk thinks
more
I'm a super
Florida
Republican.
animosity.
DeSantis fucking is awesome. Duh. I mean, everybody knows
Oh, yeah.
that. He's fucking killing it.
Yeah, we really
Well,
do.
literally.
Making laws to prohibit people from prohibit you from forcing people to wear masks. You're doing something. Right?
By the way, friend of the program, Josh Sheridan, who came on this podcast not 2 months ago, sued DeSantis and won
Yeah.
for making kids.
You
not-
know your governor's doing good when people who live in other states know who your governor is.
Oh yeah, because he's getting to Trump levels. He's
Right.
starting to pro wrestler.
Yeah, exactly.
He's like, you know what? Fuck masks. He's
He's
like at a press
national.
conference, he like slaps it off an old Cuban lady.
Oh, yeah.
Fuck that shit. You don't
Right.
need that. Yeah. He's starting to get his Trump-arian trajectory.
Sure.
Yeah, we need more. I mean, it's been really sad to not have a central polarizing clown to just to literally dominate wall-to-wall media coverage for 4 years straight.
Yeah.
I mean, I miss it. I miss the anxiety of like the fueling of hatred, like that just literally took on like 110%, and everyone around me was like out of their minds for 4 years. Feuds within my own family, screaming matches at my dad. I love it. I miss it. Bring it back, please.
Yeah, we're
as
working
fast
on
as
it.
Possible.
We are working on it.
Look, I'm all about action. What did he actually do? No one can really tell me. They're just like, he's a bad leader and he talks shit on Twitter. I'm like, I don't give a fuck. Like, I'm not for Trump. I voted for Kanye. So let's stop right there. But just in case anybody thinks I just like playing the other side of that coin. And it became a thing with my friends that I became friends with in LA. They couldn't even laugh about it. I was like, I'd talk to them on the phone and be like, very sarcastically, I'd be like, but Trump's pretty fucking
the wrong
rad.
way to handle you.
We take ourselves pretty seriously out here, and you know what? That's not okay. That's not okay to joke about it. All right.
Why are you
it's
still
more important than that law?
Why are you still in California? I just had to text a friend that's in. I know it's far away from LA, but the fires in Tahoe going like crazy, and I was just like, man, they're shutting down Tahoe. To me, it's a dumpster fire. And most of those are man-made, I guess. Most of the fires that get around y'all.
I mean, the fires are, as we know, as have been proven by science, often influenced by a greater trend in the world that is the warming of our environment.
The legend.
General drying out of our troposphere because of man-made carbon dumps into the atmosphere.
I didn't know you were going to go Bill Nye on us and bring up
Bring up the Trumposphere.
I think I just used the word troposphere. Why am I still in California?
Yeah.
It is a good question.
You got 3 kids.
Are you trapped in your house? Are there flames around you, surrounding you?
No, I will say this. A law you probably remember from living in LA, that LA is like, it's very much a bubble in a lot of ways. Like, it's a lot of people live in their own world and you live in a bubble. But when you live here, you're sort of insulated from all natural disasters except earthquake. Earthquake is this constant fear umbrella that it could happen at any second. And that's true, but it really doesn't happen all that often.
Right. It's just cool that you have anxiety about it all the time.
Right. But what we don't get is like, at least on the west side of LA, we don't get fires. There isn't any open areas of vegetation around here, and it's pretty flat ground, and it's all paved, so we don't get fires. We don't get hurricanes. We get the tail end of like storms that kind of roll up from Mexico, but we don't have the we don't have the Gulf, we don't have the warm water that's going to fuel a hurricane to just slam into California and wreak havoc. We don't have tornadoes. We don't have winter. We don't have really even so high wind, occasional floods, and the overarching fear of an earthquake is kind of all you get out here.
Well, because natural disasters aside, because it's basically desert until you get to the 405, and then it's more beach kind of weather.
The 405 is a road in LA for those of you who aren't douchebags.
Yeah, exactly. It's split. It goes right down the middle of like Beverly Hills or Westwood, I should say. If you've watched the Californians, that SNL sketch, it really is a lot like that. But 405, whenever they show traffic in LA, I'm like, God, this is a problem. It's always a picture of the 405.
Totally.
It is. It's a popular place to sit in traffic for.
But I'm saying what people don't get
about
what people don't get about LA is it's a fucking desert and then it's a beach and that's it.
It's true.
Yeah, and so you very well could catch fire. But that aside,
you just jump in the ocean.
What about you? So you love what?
I like that, Eric. Yeah, you just jump in the ocean. You catch fire. You jump in the ocean.
Oh, by the way, you jump in the Venice Beach Ocean. You could get some some cool
diarrhea,
some cool side effects there too.
Get some little E. coli, maybe a little cool inner ear infection.
This was my whole contention with LA versus Florida.
Brain-eating amoebas.
All my friends thought it was crazy. I go, look, internet's going to close that gap. I don't need to be there. Clearly, I'm super successful doing stand-up, but
this is going to work.
But but what I was saying was like, I don't need to be in LA to pay twice as much to get half as much, and you're right, it is a bubble. Like, you watch Curb, you're like, how could Larry David run into the same people? You actually are in, like, from Marina Del Rey.
I never thought that. I was like, it's a TV show.
Well,
that's how it goes.
Right.
Well, like, from Marina Del Rey
is it real?
Up to about West Hollywood, it creates, there is that same group of people you see all the time. And then Compton doesn't go into that area. Like, a lot of other areas don't get into that bubble as much.
They come here to steal our shit, but then they go home back to their apartments.
I'm just making a case you should move to Florida. You're a Florida guy, dude. Look at you, man. You can make it. A tank top. Swap that out for a tank top, man.
What about me says Florida to you? Although I will say my parents are citizens of, they're residents of the state of Florida. They live in Naples.
Okay, so we're taking care of the unwanted family members
Mhm.
that you have. Why aren't Floridians?
I still want them.
Well, why aren't Floridians respected a lot more? We're taking care of everybody's family.
Not personally.
I mean, not me. Other people are doing that
Stopped
shit.
like a couple weeks ago.
Not me. Just there's some Haitian nurses. They're taking care of us.
For sure.
Exactly.
They're lovely. Speak a little Creole.
Man.
All right.
I don't have fun when I'm down there. Although I do enjoy playing golf on a nice manicured golf course. Those are
we fucking
in high
crush
abundance.
it. We crush it in that
You
category.
guys got some really nice golf courses.
What?
Well, the thing like when
golf course
I'm
category?
Yeah. Yeah, we kill
when
it.
I'm in Florida, I feel like it's like when you're in Naples, there's the coast road, whatever 41 or the main in the Gulf Road.
We're not
that
allowed to
goes
talk
up and
about
down.
roads because it confuses Eric.
This is yeah.
On one side of the
Sponsored by
road,
Rand McNally.
on the
Nice.
beach side of the road, it's like unimaginable wealth. Wealth just for miles. Everything from blah 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 to Marco Island is whatever. It's like tons of money. And then literally on
Best
the
comedy
opposite side of that
club.
road,
Mhm.
it's just like unimaginable poverty. Like,
Yeah.
just wealth and poverty, and that's it. I never got the sense of anything in the middle. Now maybe that's just not the way Naples is, but I always got that impression. I'm like,
That's how
if
I
I go
felt.
on the other side of that road, that's where poor people live.
That's how I felt
That's how
about
Naples is. Yeah.
Well, Naples is the number one richest like zip code in the country or something like that. But that's how I always felt about West Hollywood versus Hollywood. Because you're like, ooh, Hollywood, this is fancy. West Hollywood is fancy because all the gays live there. And there's a rainbow on the fucking police cars over there.
Mhm.
Hollywood is fucking dog shit. It is a hot pile of dog shit. It is
When I
it's
first
one of the
moved
worst
to LA,
places in the country.
I had no idea what Hollywood looked like, and I got this apartment that was like at Fairfax and Sunset, which is in
Oof.
Hollywood, but it's close to West Hollywood.
Pretty close.
And I
Yeah.
hung out a while, and I was like, "Oh my god, this place is disgusting! Like, I can't believe that I moved here." And then I was like, then I used to say that I live like. I was like, it's like West Hollywood adjacent, because I was like ashamed to be like, oh yeah, I live where Western and Santa Monica Boulevard come together.
Mhm.
This is
That
bad.
fake
This is
restaurant?
real bad.
The fake, or that was at Wilshire. That fake restaurant. There's a restaurant that's open only for using it for movies and TV and stuff.
Oh yeah, you're right. That's at Fairfax in Wilshire. Yeah.
Yeah. This
The
is
one
real.
that actually it was in the Big Lebowski where they meet, and he's like,
Yep.
"I'm finishing my coffee." No, fucking, please, dear. Yeah. The what was it? The Supreme Court has roundly rejected prior restraint. That was in that restaurant.
Anybody needs an
Right across
acting
from
reel?
Blackmore.
There it is. Boom. Let's send it out. What?
Okay, if you ask me why I'm still here because you get in a habit. Like I worked for a long time. I was in a ton of commercials. I did some TV stuff.
You're in a shit ton. By the way, shit ton of commercials when you can make money doing commercials, right?
Yes, you could make money, and I did make money, and it was great. I had like a spokesman gig for a little bit, and I was like, I was working. But nobody tells you when your work begins to slow down because you just got older, or that just happened. Like they're like, no one's like, hey, by the way, things are going to taper off, and you might want to think about a new career. Like you just keep rolling into your 30s, late 30s, early 40s, mid 40s, late 40s, and you're like, wait a second, what happened? What happened to the work? And it's terrible. And my wife is like, literally, like, I get home and she's like, what are we doing here? Why are we still here? Why haven't we moved away? You haven't worked in months. You're a loser. Let's leave. And I'm like, cool, babe. Let's just chill. But I had this. Now I have the reason I'm still here, and I honestly am truly like this close to ready to pull the plug on this place.
Let's
do it right
I'm
now.
still here because of the show, because I believe in my show and I want to see it through to its natural conclusion. I don't think like, I know it's going to happen. I know it's going to work. People don't just get like successful like when they're 46, like, and suddenly he showed up.
No.
Fuck that defeatist talk, dude.
Yeah, that's probably what you switch it around, dude.
Guys, you mean me? I can still do it.
Yes.
Oh my god.
Look,
Maybe it's all right here in your own mind, and as soon as you flick the switch,
we're two huge
Right.
comedy snobs, and we were watching them like, God damn,
I
this
mean,
is
dude,
really fucking
yeah,
good.
there's no reason that should not be on TV.
I should
Or-
leave that bitch because she's the one who's
No,
bringing
no,
me
no,
down.
don't. We didn't.
No,
we didn't-
isn't that what you just said? It's my
No,
wife's fault, right?
No.
It is her.
That
Bring
Florida-
her in. Is she there?
That's the Florida life in you. That's
No,
what you're
she's not
thinking.
allowed.
I'm gonna marry a Hooters hostess because she wrote her name on the fucking
Listen.
table with a heart.
My goal now is to see this show through to its natural conclusion. To shoot our pilot
House
exactly
Place?
the way we want it. Yes, House Place. Whether the conclusion is networks looking at us and being like, no.
Hey, guess
Or
what? You could be in
if I get
Atlanta.
a job for the next 5 years, great.
You could be in Atlanta, and you could probably be working.
I hate Atlanta.
So do
Not
I.
gonna work.
So do I. But I'm
I hate
throwing
that
out
place.
options. Austin. Let's meet in the middle. Austin. Why not Austin?
Why? Why Austin?
No state income tax. You can get a lot more for your mortgage or rent. There's a booming comedy scene there.
You're moving past the show being successful.
You can film.
That's the
You can
problem.
film. You can.
Stop.
What are you
Don't
talking
be-
about? You can film the
Quit
show.
planning his future. That's not going to happen
Dude,
because the show will
Believe
be
me,
a success.
I know
How
the
about
show
that?
can be anywhere. I could buy a house in
Right.
Syracuse, Indiana, that we could renovate, that we could make a whole season out of it, and that is part of our plan. But I have to make the pilot and sell the pilot,
Yeah.
and I'd rather do that here while I already live here than have to move somewhere else to try to gather all the pieces and gather crew and get talent in. Like talent and everybody's
What are
here
you
right
talking
now.
about?
So
That show, you don't need that. It doesn't seem like a high end production. Like, no offense, but you could do it without a lot of production.
no, we can do. We need talent. We need talent.
You're the
That's what we need.
talent.
I know, but
If you do it in Tampa, will help. But that's,
the way
no
that the show
guarantee.
is written, it's an ensemble. It looks like this old house. That's the show we made. Thus
We
far,
get
we've
it.
made a two-man show.
You look like Bob
Anyway.
Vila. We got it.
I'm already here. We're already in like we're very much in motion, and I just want to see it through to its natural.
I'm just trying to break you of your defeatist chains, right? That's all I'm trying to do as a friend. That's all I'm
I
saying.
appreciate that.
Is you could shoot that literally anywhere. You could. It would probably be cheaper to go to Indiana, fly out your co-host, do it there, find kids there to shoot it for you, and then package that, come back to LA, and then you can go do a night at Bloomington. What is it? The Harry Bear? What's that place called? You're an Indiana guy, right?
Bears, yeah, it's called Bears.
Yeah, man, I got real drunk on some of that shit. Or sink
Wait,
the.
you went to
You can sink the biz. I know all about it, bro.
Think the Biz Market?
Yeah.
At Nick's.
Yeah, I know all
Yeah,
about. These are all Bloomington, Indiana spots.
I believe you.
Wait, how do you know that? Did you?
How
did
the
you
fuck do
stand
you
up
think
there?
I know it, bruh? I've been on the road. I've been a road dog, motherfucker. I did Bloomington, I think 3 times with Nick Hoff.
It's a great town. With
Remember
Nick Hoff?
Yeah,
Sure, yeah, I remember that.
yeah.
You remember?
Well, now he's opening for Larry the Cable Guy. Is that how you forget him now? He's just out of
Listen, I will say that I am really the reason we haven't spoken in 10 years
It's because of
is
this.
because I am
'Cause it's
very
caustic?
bad. I'm very bad about keeping track of people, and I will say that since I stopped doing stand up and sitting through COVID and all that, like it's not like I literally see none of the old people that I used to hang with.
Right.
Like, I just I'm doing my thing.
Hey, I don't want to bring it up again, but you know it's free.
I don't know.
This state's pretty free right now. You can go out. I can go out and mingle. I went to about 100-person bar show the other night. Nary a mask. Is that cool? I don't know.
So are you out doing it? I mean, are you
Yeah.
like doing stand up actively? Eric,
Uh-huh.
are you doing stand up?
No, not right now.
No.
Yeah.
But you did
I've
do
done-
stand up.
I've done.
You have.
I actually, dude, it was the last time was a year ago. You realize that?
Oh wow.
Yeah.
When we both bombed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's fun.
Shit-faced.
Always, yeah. Bombing is great.
Yeah. You got a bomb.
Well, got a bomb.
You do.
Did
You have to
you talk
learn. You
about
learn from bombing.
He's got some stuff that might take some time. Time plus tragedy equals comedy, maybe.
Oh,
I-
I'm gonna
I
have a
do-
bunch of shit.
I do agree that the show could be shot anywhere, and I'm very much looking forward to us being a traveling show. But for the purposes of like getting a pilot
I
shot
gotcha.
made and
You gotta sell it
sold,
there.
I feel like this is where we are and happen to be right now.
Well, bro, use Morgan Simpson, our mutual church friend. He used to go to Thad's.
That's I did, yeah.
See, this is a real thing. I think I thrown it out that we used to go to church in LA. It's like I don't believe it. For the 13th.
Yeah, we used to.
apostle.
Hippie church.
When I met my wife, she was going to church with like her group of friend girl, all these super hot brunettes.
I was gonna say they're
And,
all hot. That's why you're
they're
religious
all
now.
hot. So like
This is
you
the
know,
church
so
that
yes.
Reese Witherspoon was like sitting next to me.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Peace be with you. I'm
It's
like,
starting to make sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, no. I mean, LA is full of like it's still kind of like the Wild West out here in that like if you wanted to start a church, you could do that. It would take like a charismatic young like pastor preacher guy, and if he could get the attention of the right people, he could suddenly be funded, have a space to do it, like have a congregation that's like
shout out
all
to Jimmy
about
Bartz. Yeah.
his message. And Jimmy was that guy.
Jimmy
But,
told me
like,
dirty
we should
jokes
do
the first time I met him. He told me the filthiest jokes I've ever heard in my life, and filthier than any comic. And I was like, I will go to your church.
Well, what usually falls apart is when that guy moves on for some reason or changes locations or leaves, and then the organization falls apart because it's like it would be like Koresh leaving, the Branch Davidians. So they're just like, yeah, this
Good
is
metaphor.
like, we sort of need the charismatic figurehead to
Way
run
to-
the whole
way to-
Elron.
Way to pull in Waco into this. Nice.
You got it. But yeah, no, Fads was this like super chill, super cool. It was like Sunday Bible study, really. It was very Episcopalian, like kind of mellow, and they had like coffee and donuts as you're walking in, not afterwards like the Catholics usually do. But like, you get your donuts beforehand, and you carry them in and be like, I'm gonna eat some
No,
donuts,
the
sip my coffee.
one thing they have, and I try to get my church to do it, is they didn't play Jesus-filled lyric songs. They played real, like New Orleans brass band. Like,
Yeah.
the talent level was like insane. You walk in and you'd be like, I'd pay $70 to watch this just any night. Like, this is like,
Right.
these guys are just.
But they were still religious songs.
No. Every song could be religious.
They
That
would
was
be
the idea.
playing like the band, and then somebody would get up and sing an Aretha song, and then we'd play like Band of Horses or something. Like,
Right.
it was,
Oh.
The
it was
talent
nuts.
in that room, like, I always was like, man, I am a piece of shit compared to everybody else in here. Like, everybody's like, oh yeah, this kid's going to Berkeley on a guitar scholarship. You're like, what?
They have guitar scholarships?
Yeah, they're like, this
What?
guy's a prodigy, and he's just in high
Yeah.
school. Just
all professional session musicians, like great
Yeah.
drummers, bass, singers, the whole deal. Everyone was,
the
like,
drummer
super
Johnny, I
talented.
still see in commercials for Dr. Pepper every
Yep.
year now. Like,
Yep.
it was a weird kind of congregation. But before we forget, because we try to keep these episodes pretty slender, and you can come back
Yeah,
on.
I can tell.
Well, what does that mean?
Are we done?
Oh,
Are we
well,
done?
We keep only the important stuff.
and I got a heart out. What advice would you tell your 13-year-old self? Could be house place related. House
I'll be
place
like, okay.
for anybody listening. That's the pilot. That's the show. A DIY HGTV-ish parody that is fucking hilarious.
Mhm.
But you got it behind the
Uh,
password wall, so I don't know how we can.
I do have it behind the password wall for purposes right now of, we're trying
Right.
to sell it.
Right,
and
right, right.
I don't need, I'm trying not to muddy the waters of our efforts right now.
No, I got you.
But my 13-year-old self, that's an interesting question. I'd say I would be like, hey man, listen, play a little bit more of a participatory role in your own life.
Ooh,
Like, maybe,
I've never heard that.
actively make decisions and like try to focus yourself through life rather than just allowing it to wash over you. Like, maybe have a plan is what I would suggest to myself.
Interesting.
Because there was a long period of like, even when I went to college after high school, I think that's the way that I did it. I went to high school, then college. I literally applied to two schools, got into one. I was like, yeah, go to that one, whatever, no big deal, man. And it was a great school. I don't know if it was the right one for me. I let my mother write my essay to go to Northwestern. I wonder why I didn't get in.
How smart's your mom?
Yeah.
And plus in
I blame
being
your mom.
here,
We're gonna go to Naples.
Mom,
Let her
this
do-
sucks.
It's only 2 hours south. Yeah.
but it would be to actively participate and to have a plan. More so than, my plan was to come out here and just be an actor, and I did that. But and it's worked sometimes, and then it's not worked other times. I've had real estate investments that have been very essential to my ability to even stay here. That's honestly like what saved my ass more than anything else.
That makes
is
sense.
Real estate.
While you're doing house place.
Yeah,
Oh.
totally.
You're pulling from that that tool belt.
Good one, Lon.
Thank you. I'm still
No.
as sharp as you knew me back in LA.
I mean, I think I honestly, if I could do it all over, just from coming to LA, I would have gotten into like some commercial real estate as well as doing stand up. Because you can always have creative endeavors. You just don't necessarily have to like make them the central pillar of your working life.
I agree, brother.
Yeah.
Well, thanks for coming on. Thanks for this was entertaining to say the least, and it's good to see your face.
Yeah, man, it's good to see you too, Eric. It's very nice to meet you.
Yeah, man. Thanks for coming on.
You got good arms, man. You're
Thank
jacked.
you.
It's good.
Don't-
I like that Hamilton.
Jesus,
shirt as well.
don't.
It says
don't
Hamilton
have to do that.
sucks.
Hamilton sucks. Yeah, dude.
Yeah, bro. He's
Yeah,
against
wait,
Hamilton.
have you? Yeah, Hamilton does suck. Nobody
Hamilton
wants to
is
say it.
amazing. No, Hamilton's amazing, man.
That's what everybody's
I
saying.
just don't know if you've ever seen it with the right people.
Right.
Prayer hands. That was nice.
Yeah.
But when it's happening, it is.
Hour 3. Oh man, so good. Shut up.
My sweat equity.
All
Hey,
right,
you know,
brother.
you could say the same thing about the music, man. I mean, you gotta have charisma to play the music, man. But that third act just blows. Forget about the music.
Thank
man.
you, Kirk.
Sure.
You're welcome.
My favorite.
All right, boys.
All right,
You're the
man.
best.
We'll see you
Thanks.
around.
I'm gonna nuzzle that beard one day. I'll see you when I see you.
Sweat equity.
I hope so.